What's up, everyone? Mikey here again with another video series coming to you from the GRAVECADE, and we are going to focus on building a PC to run on a CRT cabinet with Batocera and Steam. So you can play your Steam games on a CRT arcade cabinet. So this video series is going to be broken down into sections. We're going to literally open up this machine. This is a Dell OptiPlex 7050 that I got on eBay for like 50 bucks. We're going to open this up, got some RAM, got a graphics card. We're going to put in the M.2 drive that we're going to put Batocera on in there, set that up together, and then after that, we're going to hook it up to a jammASD. So this is what's going to connect it to your arcade cabinet. So we'll talk about that as well, wire everything up, and then after that, we'll talk about software, how to get Batocera running, and then also how to get Steam running in Batocera as well, so that you can play your games. So yeah, we've got so much to talk about. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, welcome back. So first thing we need to do is we need to get Batocera to load onto this PC, and the way we do that is we're gonna put it onto a drive here. So this is an M.2 drive, and then we're gonna need to mount it onto your computer so that you could get Batocera on there. So this will make it so that when you turn the PC on, it will just be Batocera. So you don't have to like open up Windows and then like click on Batocera, or or you're using Mac or whatever, Linux, so it's just gonna straight up just load into Batocera. So first off, I use this M.2 card. I'm gonna leave a link for all of these items in the description. I'm not affiliated with anyone, so I don't make any profit off any of these links at all. So just upfront about that. So so M.2. Then you're gonna need something to mount it onto your computer. So I'm gonna do that right now. So let me hook this up to my, sorry y'all, I'm using a Mac. So I'm gonna be doing this using a Mac. But obviously you could figure out how to do this with a PC as well too. All the concepts are gonna be exactly the same. So that said, let's hook this up here. I'm gonna mount this onto the drive, the computer, and let's do a screen share. All right, so hopefully we'll see our drive pop up if this is working correct. Bam, so we've got our drive here. So there you go. So first thing what we're gonna do is you're gonna need to download Batocera from their website. So I do have a link here so you can see that right here. So I'm gonna leave this link as well in the description. So you're gonna download, and right now we're at current version number 40. So we are at Batocera number 40 here. So we're gonna download from here. So it's gonna be desktop, PC, laptop, blah, 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 all this. So Intel-based Apple computers as well too, if you wanna do that, but you're not gonna be able to output analog signal from that. So just keep that in mind. So anyways, so you're gonna click on that download, and then once you get that download, then you're gonna get a program called Balena Etcher. And I'll show you, here's a screenshot of what that is. But you're gonna download that as well. And what that does is that will make it so that you could put images onto a hard drive. So I'm gonna open it up because I already have it downloaded. So we're gonna open up Balena Etcher, and so we're gonna flash from the file. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flash this Batocera that I downloaded already. So flash from file, I'm gonna grab that image, I'm gonna go open. After that, I'm gonna select the target. And this, you may see other hard drives in here. So make sure that you're doing it on a PCIe media one. Make sure that this is the one that you don't want to accidentally override your actual OS system or whatever, right? So any other hard drive that's sitting on your machine. So I'm clicking this because that's the only one that's mounted right now. And I'm gonna select one here. I'm gonna flash. It's gonna ask me, hey, it's an unusually large drive. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Yes, I'm sure, let's do it. Gonna have to add a password in here. Boom, boom. All right. So then after that, we're gonna let this download. Hopefully it will be quick. If it takes too long, I'm gonna speed up this video. All right, so just before we start fully downloading this, you'll see that it mounts, and then it's automatically gonna unmount it for you. So give it a sec here, and then you'll see that it will auto unmount when it's done finishing. So that's when you know it's done. Okay, cool. Awesome. So that is complete now. Yay, we got Batocera. So I don't even have to unmount this from the, I don't have to worry about unmounting this from the Mac. So it's already unmounted. I could actually take the drive out. We're good to go. And then after that, I'm gonna I'm gonna hide this. I don't need this anymore, so we'll put this out of the way. We'll also take this case and put it out of the way. And then we're gonna go into the next part, which is we're gonna open up this Dell OptiPlex. We're gonna talk about the PC and yeah, just hook all of this stuff and hook it up to the arcade cabinet. So stay tuned. All right, so we're back and I ended up taking everything out of the cases so that we could speed up this process a little bit better. So yeah, let me turn on this other camera we have set up here. And yeah, again, this is a Dell OptiPlex 7050 that I got off of eBay for like 50 bucks. It has an i7 processor inside of it. It came with one 8GB RAM card that I took out already, but that's about it. It didn't have anything else, no hard drive, nothing else, no bells and whistles. So yeah. Let's open this up here. So how to open this is there's a little lock right here in the very back. So you're just gonna push that down, you're gonna hear it click, and then you're just kind of gonna hold this back here, use these little tabs and just pull. And then boom, that's it. So there's your topper here. I'm gonna put that to the side here. Okay, so first thing that we're gonna need to do is we're gonna have to take this little battery out. So I have a little flathead screwdriver here. And the reason why we want to take this little battery out is we want to reset the whole PC. So, you know, there may be some settings in the BIOS that were set by the previous owner or whatever. So let's remove this first. So it needs to at least be out of the out of its little slot for about a minute in order to reset. So I'm gonna get that out of there. Cool, very easy. There's like a little latch here that you could push against to get that. So anyway, so I'm gonna put this on the side here. We'll let this sit for a little bit. Okay, so first thing that we're gonna do is we need to take this little thing off. So this is your disk, it's your CD drive, DVD drive. Some of them don't come with this, but you may have this bracket here as well too. So, so I'm gonna show you how to take that off. So in order to take that off, this is actually the front here. So there's these little tabs that you're going to lift right here. Boom, and then that just takes that off. So, and you maybe need to lift it a little bit just to get that out. So again, there's your little disk drive, and then, you know, USB and that kind of stuff here. So that's the front of that. So we'll put that on the side again here. And then we need to take this out. So this is gonna be your, the drive. And then there's a little latch right here. And you could see a little lock icon here. And then you push it to the side and then there's unlock, and then you're just gonna lift. And then there's two little tabs that stick out right here. And they sit inside of this little, they rest in this little area. So you're just gonna do that. Boom, you're gone. So next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to install, actually no, let's do our RAM first. So here's the RAM cards that I got. Again, I'm gonna have the links in the description. I got this off the Amadong website. I'm not sure. I mean, I was trying to go best bang for the buck, but you know, leave in the comments if maybe there's a better route than doing this. I'm just trying to go with the cheaper, like maybe there's better RAM that you could get. So inform everyone else if you know of better RAM. So each one of these are 16 gigs. So we're gonna max this out. So the max you could do is 64 gigabytes of RAM in this machine. So we're maxing out. So the groove, there's gonna be a groove inside of here. One side is always going to be longer than the other, so you'll know exactly, you'll see that, but the RAM goes in here, so these slots right here. So we'll do this one by one. So let me do that, and we will push this in. So what you're going to do is just put it in here, don't be too scared, get it in the slot, and then after that you're going to just push down on it. So and then you'll hear it snap, and then these two little tabs will go into place here. So we'll do this one again. Maybe I'll speed this up so that we don't have to keep watching me do this. Remember the first time I ever built a PC, I was really scared about this process and I thought I was gonna like break the motherboard. But after doing this so many times, you know, you get used to it. But yeah, you just push down, make sure that these are all latched. All right, we're good to go. So next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna install our M.2 drive. So that is gonna go into right here. Okay, so you have this little slot right here that you're gonna put it in, and usually it's like the logo is gonna be up top, and then you're gonna have a tooth that's gonna stick out. So that's gonna go into the little slot here. And also, there's usually a screw that you can hold this into place. This one has a plastic thing that's broke. So the one I got is broken. So I'm not going to be able to show you how to actually put that in place. And this little area right here on mine in particular is sticky. So I'm able to, you know, push this down here and then push it into the sticky sticker. That's going to hold it down, but it's not going to hold down that long. It's kind of wonky. So I have no means, I have no way of being able to lock this down, but you should have a screw there. If not, if you have plastic, but you know, it's just going to go in an arcade cabinet. It's not going to move. It's not like it's going to be shaking around anywhere. So even if it lifts up, it's still connected. So don't worry if it lifts up or anything, it's still connected. So there you go with that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install that battery. It's been longer than a minute. So we're going to do that. Let's install that mug. Boom. And then the last thing is we are going to install the GPU. So this is an AMD R7 350X. So this is going to be the fastest one that you're going to get. That's like a small form factor one. That is recommended by Batocera as well too. As far as like the CRT script team, they highly recommend this one. This is going to be the fastest one you're going to get. I mean, there's probably faster ones, but this is a small form factor one. So, and they will usually come, if you could find it, you will find a Dell that actually has this inside of it. So maybe try to find that deal too. I got this for 20 bucks. So maybe 25, but yeah, just, it was no more than $30 for this card. So, so yeah, let's install this. Oh yeah, just the other thing I want to show is that the thing that's really important about this card is it has a DVI output, and then it also has a DisplayPort. If you use DisplayPort, you're gonna have to put a dongle, and it's a little bit, I don't know, I see it's kind of laggy from some benchmarks that I've seen. I always go straight out this area, so, and we'll show you this later, but there's gonna be a DVI attachment that you're gonna have to put in here to hook it up, like so. And then you're going to have your VGA cable, and then that's going to go to another device that we'll talk about later. So just keep that in mind. We have that. So yeah, just if you're going to look for any graphics card, even if it's not a Dell or anything like that, also go on the Batocera-CRT-Script GitHub page. They'll have a list of all the cards that they actually tested. So it's not any card that you can get. So make sure and look in that list and see if that card is compatible. You definitely want a card that you know, has some sort of output that's going to be analog, so that you could send that you know, as RGB sync to your arcade cabinet for your CRT. So anyways, that said, let's install this. So to install, there's a little thing right here. You just lift this up. Boom. Okay, I've got an empty slot right here. So I'm going to line up this little slot end to this slot just to figure out where exactly this needs to go. So I'm going to put that here. Okay. And then you'll see there's a tooth in here that you're going to kind of align, and then you're going to get in between the tooth, and then you're going to push down. So boom, push down, good to go. If you successfully do this right, you should be able to close this with no problem. There we go. Just clipped into place. Okay. So we've got GPU, we've got our RAM, we've got our hard drive. That's it. That's all we need. We've got the battery in. All right, so let's assemble this now. So let's put this back in. So again, we've got this little tabs here. They're going to go into place right here, and then we're going to lock this. Okay, got that locked. And then the next thing is we need to do the front panel. So I always find it easier to kind of like lift it up, make sure that this is aligned, and then make sure the bottom part of it is aligned. And then after that, you can squeeze it together. Cool. Make sure that both the bottom part is aligned and everything's good. Okay, that feels really, really good. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the case back together. So we've got these two little tabs here, those little things that are sticking out, and if you notice, we've got these sticking out on this side. So they're both going to go on those same sides. So the next thing, so the way to do this is you're not going to start all the way back here. You're actually going to go like about an inch from here on this side, and you'll notice that these tabs there's two of them that are small, and then one of them is really long right here. You're going to use the edge of that long one as your guide to let you know, oh, okay, cool. and then you'll feel it. It will be able to just sit right there. So once you do that, just hold it down, push it in, boom, I just heard it lock. So we are good to go with that. Everything's installed on the inside. Just want to show you all where we're going to install cables and like that kind of stuff. So here's the back end of here. Again, we've got that DVI converter. So we're going to need to hook that up into here. Okay, so we're gonna get that hooked up. If you get one of these that don't have Wi-Fi, I would highly recommend, you do need to have some sort of Wi-Fi dongle, or you could go straight up Ethernet if you want to go that route. But we're gonna need to get into Batocera. We're gonna have to network into it to run that CRT script. So keep in mind that you will need the internet. So I'm just gonna hook this up straight up right now, for now. And then we'll just keep this here. And then here's going to be where your audio is going to go here. So we've got an audio port. So this audio port, I'm just going to have one side of this and hooked up to here. So we've got a male TRS cable to another 1/8 inch TRS. And then this is going to go into our jammASD, which we'll talk about in a sec. And then I have another cable here, which is a giant USB cable that I need to run from my PC to the arcade cabinet that's really far behind me. So I have this cable here, and on the very end of that is going to be the cable that comes with your jammASD. I can't remember what this attachment's called, but yeah. So you're gonna hook that in. So this is again, this is gonna go into the jammASD, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's hook that up. So this is going to be in charge of your controls. So you know, your joystick, your controllers, you're going to be sending that signal from your jammASD into your computer to let it know, hey, yo, I just hit the up button, or I just hit start, or whatever. So that's what that's going to be for. And then finally, we are going to hook up a VGA cable. So we need a VGA cable hooked up to your jammASD. So this is going to be sending all your video straight up to your CRT. So we'll hook that up real quick here. I'm just gonna screw that in. Okay, actually there is not a finally, because there's a couple more things that we need to plug in. So I'm gonna plug this in already. You need a keyboard. So I have a external, yep, it's a Mac keyboard. God forbid. Yeah, so I have a Mac keyboard running into a PC. But yeah, so I'm just gonna plug this in for right now. So we need to get that hooked up as well. And then the very last thing is, or second to last thing, third to last thing, we need to hook up a mouse. So we're gonna need a mouse for Steam. So this is way later, but we're gonna need one of these for later. So we could hook this up. You could do a Bluetooth one, whatever you have. I just have wired right now. I got this old school Logitech. I don't even know. I bought this in the 90s, I think. But so we've got that hooked up as well. And then the next thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need to hook up a HDMI cable. So we need HDMI at first. So we're gonna be doing all of our setup right now. Very first thing, the setup is gonna have to happen on a external monitor, or I'm doing it directly into a capture card into my computer so that you guys can see everything. But yeah, external monitor, TV, whatever, we need to set up Batocera first digitally and not through your CRT, because you're not gonna be sending the right signal. So we're gonna hook that up here. So we got an HDMI cable. And again, I'm gonna have everything listed in the description. And then finally, I'm gonna have to put power in here. So let me get my power adapter. Hopefully it will reach. I think it's gonna reach. Okay, actually no, let's not do power yet, because what's gonna happen is this is automatically gonna turn on, and we don't wanna do that yet. So let's hold off on the power. I'm gonna flip this, move these wires. And I think the next thing, the very last thing I wanna talk about here in this segment, actually, let's come back and I'll talk about the jammASD in a sec. All right, so we're back again. Did a little cleanup with the cables just because I'm a cable management freak here. So hey, there's something that I forgot to mention. I'm actually, the way for this video, I'm doing a split. So I'm doing video capture card, and then I'm gonna show it running on the arcade cabinet at the same time. So with that DVI out from your GPU, you could actually run a splitter. And I do this for all of my arcade cabinets. Actually have I'm able to do capture all of them all at the same time into OBS. So the way that I do is I have a splitter. So one goes to the actual CRT monitor, and then the other side will actually go to a capture card. So this is a cheapie. I'm not even going to put this in the list, but I'll make a recommendation of one in the description. So, and I'll make a video later on, another video on how to actually do capturing and stuff like that as well too. So if you see this blue thing and you thought that was weird, it's because I'm doing that. So again, this is going to go into the jammASD, and then this is going to go into my OSSC upscaler. It's upscaler, yeah. So cool. So that said, let me hook this back up here real quick. Make sure I got this in the right direction. I'm going to hook up the VGA the correct way. All right, we good to go. Okay, so as promised, let's talk about the jammASD. So first off, let's talk about the PCB. I'm just going to say right off the bat, it does not come with this, and we'll talk about this in a sec. So let me explain what this does here. So this is a PCB that's gonna basically speak between you and the PC. So we've got the PC that's gonna send a video signal out of that VGA into here. It's going to transform that video signal into RGB sync, and that will be sent out to your JAMA, and then it will go to your CRT. The other thing is there is an 1/8" jack here, TRS jack. And then there's also a switch. So this is going to be for your sound. So you could either do stereo or mono for some of you that have the mono or stereo. So that's going to be for your audio. So again, audio is going to go in here. It's going to transmit that out of your JAMA, and then boom, you're going to have audio in your cabinet. There's a little knob here. This is your volume knob. I highly recommend turning this down at first. If this is the first time you're ever using this, turn it all the way down so that you don't blow your speakers just in case. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is signals will go this way as well too. So signals will go this way. So if you hit a button or you're messing with the controller, what it's going to do is it's going to send it through the JAMA edge, and then it's going to come out of this USB, and then this USB is going to go into your PC, and it's going to tell your PC, yo, hey, I just hit the start button or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it even works with CoinMech too, by the way, BTW. So cool. So we got that out of the way. So that's kind of like the flow. Now you're wondering, like, what is this for? Well, this is only going to run buttons 1, 2, and 3. You're going to need a CPS, some sort of thing to be able to get your 4, 5, and 6 if you have 6 buttons. So I have 6 buttons on my machine. So I got this. I'll leave it in the description as well. But I got this from Mr. Add-ons. It's a CPS2 kick harness, and all I did was I'll leave a picture right now. But I took off the end of it and then just wired these in. And then I'm going to include a link to Focus Attack. They have a wiring diagram of what each one of these represents, what each of these wires represent, because it's going to be player 1 button 4, player 1 button 5, player 2 button 4, player 2 button 5, and 6. And then you're going to have 2 ground. It's ground on here, but it's going to be your common wire as well too. So, and it will let you know which is which. So then that way you can just plug in Batocera, and all your controls are already going to be, they're going to be set to the correct buttons as well too, which is really, really cool. There's a keyboard profile actually for this in particular PCB. So it's really awesome. So that said, cool. Let's hook everything up into this. So let me grab first thing. What is this? Where are you? Oh, you're audio. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hook you up to the audio here. So the next thing is let's get that VGA hooked up. So we're gonna go VGA in here. Let me see if I'm doing this right. Boom. Let's screw that in just to tighten it down a little bit more. Don't want to get all loosey-goosey here. All right, so we've got that set up. Actually, I'm gonna move this here, make it a little easier. Probably should have did this backwards. Actually, I'm gonna do this real quick here. Let me flip this the other way. I should have put the CPS harness up top because I'm crazy like that. So let me do this. Let's tuck it. Let's gangster tuck this. All right, so now let me do this again. Boom, okay. And then the last thing that we need to hook up is the USB. So we're gonna get your controls set up. So we've got audio, video, and then all we need is the controller. Let me see. Is this it? Is this all that's gonna happen over here? I think that's it. I think I could actually move. Maybe I can move this over to here. Let's see. Will we be able to reach here? I think so. Okay, so we're going to the Astro City right now. Let's see if this will actually reach. Yeah, it will. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna hook this up to the JAMA Edge. Okay. Obviously, make sure that you're aligning this correctly. You've got the little space here. So I've got this spaced out. I'm putting this into the JAMA Edge at the right spot. Cool. And then I'm gonna hook up that kick harness here. I've got the little kick harness. Yeah, all right. I think we're good. You all turn down. Okay, so the other thing that I wanna talk about with the jammASD is that, and let me, I don't even think we even need to look down here anymore. So the one thing that I want to talk about with the jammASD that's really cool about it is it has this thing called protection mode in it. So your PC will actually send, when you turn it on, it will send a signal that is not 15 kilohertz. It's going to send something higher than that. That is bad for your CRT. That is bad for your chassis. So what it does is if it detects anything higher than that frequency, it's going to gate it, and it's not going to send it to the rest of your chassis. So, which is good. So then that means you're not going to blow up anything, basically. So protection mode, really cool. We technically could just turn on the monitor right now. I'm not going to do that yet, but but you could just leave it on or whatever. And I mean, I would power it off between playing or whatever, but yeah. So that said, we got protection mode, we got that all hooked up, we got the PC hooked up. I think the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go into setting up Batocera, actually setting up your BIOS and then Batocera after that. So stay tuned. All right, y'all, it's time to set up Batocera in your PC. We're about to turn this thing on. Again, I have a capture card hooked up to the HDMI out on this. We're not sending any signal to this thing yet at all. The expectation is to turn this on. We're gonna go into the BIOS. We're gonna get that set up so that the next time we boot the PC, it will automatically boot into Batocera on that M.2 drive. So with that all said, let's plug in your PC, and it should automatically start. So let's do that here. Okay, you should see a light turning on in the back. While that's turning on, you're gonna hear this thing rebooting over and over and over again, because what it's trying to do is it's figuring out like, hey, I think that I'm in something just reset me. I'm like hard start factory settings right now because we took that battery out. Remember that. So we took that battery out, we put it back in right now. So the BIOS is all set up and it doesn't know what time it is right now. So and you'll see what I'm talking about in a sec here. So let's turn this on, and I may need to fast forward this a little bit because it's gonna reboot. It's gonna boot and reboot a few times before we actually get some sort of signal here. So let me do this. All right, so if everything was successful, you should see this screen here. Basically, it's just trying to say, I don't even know what time of day it is right now. Let's go into the BIOS. Let's just set everything up. Let's just start this up. So let's press F2 on your keyboard. Cool. So you should see this screen. I think it should look the same for everyone if we've got the same PC. If you don't, same concepts with everyone. Basically is you're gonna need to have certain settings on here. I'm gonna run through each one, and then hopefully on your PC, just try to figure out the same concept if it's a different type of BIOS. So I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard to go up and down here, and then so here, boot sequence, you're gonna want to see Batocera and then that UEFI. And then if you see that legacy, you do not want to have legacy turned on. You just want to have UEFI turned on. Boot option, enable legacy option ROMs. Just keep that the same. I never changed this. This is going to be always except internal HDD. I never change that either. Date and time, you can set the date and time if you need to. Let's go to the next one, system configuration. To make it expand, just hit the right key. So then there you go. This is going to be the same. This is always going to be the same. Now this is the thing you're going to need to change here. So in order to change this, you have to hit the tab button, and that's how you move over to the next window. So now you can see I'm on this side. And then what we're going to do is press enter on AHCI. So hit enter. It's going to ask you yes or no. It's already highlighted on yes, so hit return again. Okay, cool. So now we need to do one more setting here. So I'm going to hit tab again until we see blue on the left-hand side. So keep hitting tab. Okay, cool. Now I see blue. So let's close this out and let's go into secure boot. Okay, make sure that this is disabled. It should be disabled, but maybe your PC doesn't have it. Make sure that this is disabled as well. So we're going to close out of that. And then if we go to power management, I'm not sure if every PC does this, but with the Dell you can. There is AC recovery, and you're going to go into here, you're going to hit tab, and then you're going to do power on. What this does is it makes it so that your PC will turn on if it detects power from like your plug, basically. So I could now put my PC inside of my arcade cabinet, have a plug running outside, and then I could, unplug it or plug it back in. I actually have a power adapter that has individual on and off switches for each socket. So that's how I turn on my PCs from the outside of the arcade cabinet. So that way you don't have to open up the cabinet and then, turn on the power of the PC by pushing the button and then closing it. This makes it a lot simpler. So anyways, that said, so now you're gonna hit tab one more time. You're gonna get to the bottom here, on the bottom here. So you can see I'm at the bottom. So go to apply, hit enter, hit tab a few times. So you could save this custom user settings, hit enter, hit tab one more time, and then hit OK. Cool, now we just saved that setting for everything. So the last thing that we're gonna do is hit tab a few times here, and then we're gonna hit exit. So now our PC has gone into reboot. So now it's rebooting. So the same thing is gonna happen here. It's gonna reboot a few times. It's gonna take a little bit, and we will, fingers crossed, we should see Batocera pop up. Oh, I already see it booting. It's booting. It's doing something here. So cool. So it looks like it's successful because as you can see, we can see Batocera.linux on the very top left corner here. So here we go. There's the first indicator that we have successfully loaded. So let me just give this a sec. You're gonna see a black screen for a little bit, just by the way. So don't think that something's going wrong. You're always gonna see a black screen for a little bit, and then after that, Batocera will load. Boom. Dude, we're in. We're in. We got it. All right, so as you can see, this is the UI. I'm using the keyboard, so I'm just using the keyboard for right now. And we're gonna be doing a couple more things here. So while we're here, I think we're done with this section. Let's go to the next section, and that is we're gonna start running the Batocera-CRT script so that we could get this in 15 kilohertz mode because we're in digital right now. So we're coming out of the HDMI, but we want it to come out of here, and we want it to send a signal to that, but we need to run a script first. So stay tuned for that. All right, y'all, you ready to get this script running? Well, we're gonna have to hack into this PC. So, no, we're really just gonna open up a terminal. We could actually do this inside of Batocera. Batocera actually has it is an OS system, so it does have its own terminal. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you all how to get Wi-Fi hooked up or your networking hooked up so that we could actually SSH from this machine into here. So we could use the terminal here and talk to Batocera and this PC here. So yeah, let's set up Wi-Fi first. So let me go into full screen mode here. Okay, so again, I'm using the keyboard. I'm using the arrow keys to move around. I'm going left and right now. If you hit return, you go into the emulator. If you need to leave the emulator, you hit escape. So there you go. And if you hit escape again in here, you go to this like where you could like toggle and go, you know, quicker to an emulator rather than going through like this one by one. So you could like skip that way. So anyways, so while we're here also, you hit the space bar. This is how you get to the EmulationStation. So this is the UI here is called EmulationStation. So this is what this is the front end UI that runs inside of Batocera. So if we hit space bar here, this is where your main menu is. This is where you're going to run all of your settings, and then also individual games will have their own settings as well too. So if we scroll into here, if you hold down the return key, you can see that we've got other options as well here. So, but we won't be going into that until later. So let me escape again and then escape one more time. And then, you know, if you escape again, you will always go to this thing. So if you hit escape a few times, you'll always go to this menu. So you know that this is the end once you make it here. So, okay. So that said, let's go into the main menu for EmulationStation. So let's hit spacebar and then go into network settings. So I'm going to hit the down arrow a few times, hit return, and then we're in here. So as you can see, I don't have an IP address. I don't have internet status. It says not connected, host name, Batocera. Okay, so let's go down to this toggle here and then press return. And it's going to take a little sec. It's going to take a bit just because I think it's trying to look for whatever Wi-Fi device is working, or, you know, so we have the dongle right now. Okay, so Wi-Fi SSID, I'm going to use mine, and then let's put in the password. So now, as you can see, I don't have Wi-Fi yet. It doesn't connect right away. So what you have to do is you have to hit the back button. So go to back, hit return, and then now it's going to try to see if your password works and blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to go back to the main menu in a sec here. It's going to be like, yeah, Wi-Fi enabled. Okay, cool. Hit return again. And then just to double check, hit return on network settings one more time. And then you can see that we are connected. So it also exposes a IP address for this particular machine. So just keep that in mind as well if you need to you know, log in or do something with networking. This is the IP address for this machine. So that said, let's hit escape. We could hit escape again, and then we're back to this main menu. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this from Wi-Fi. Actually, let me show you one more thing. If you hit in the main menu, so let me hit escape again. Now this is the very end right here. I have to make it to the main EmulationStation menu. If you hit F1, you will actually go into the Batocera system here. So this is like, you know, this is the OS. Like this, you know, here's our file manager. We've got all the files in here. We've got our applications, you know, some of the settings for some of those applications. Look, you got DuckStation, you got Dolphin, you know, that kind of stuff. This is where you're going to put all your ROMs. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at how many systems they have running in this thing, you know? So there's a lot of things that you could put in here. But yeah, the one thing I want to show you is the applications here. So there's a thing called Xterm, and Xterm is going to be the terminal for Batocera. So you can run this next script that I'm going to show you in here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to actually SSH into this machine. So to get out of here, you actually have to go to File and then close Window, and then this will take you directly back to EmulationStation. Okay, so that said, now what I'm going to do is we are going to move to my machine, my MacBook or my PC. So what we're going to do next is what you need to do is open up a terminal. For a Mac, you have your own terminal. So if you hit Command and then space, it'll take you to this kind of like search feature, and then you could type in terminal and open up terminal. My terminal is actually jacked right now, so I'm going to use a program that I usually use called iTerm. So I'm going to open that up instead. And again, if you're using a PC, you know, figure out how you open your terminal in there, and then so with the Mac, it's really easy to SSH into something. So I'm not sure if you're going to have to do extra steps in a PC. You may have to run a program, but we're going to do this on a Mac, and it's going to be really easy. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to do this right here. So you're going to type in SSH space root at Batocera.local. Okay. So what you're going to do is hit return here after that. And it may take a sec here. Okay, cool. Now it's just saying, hey, this host can't be established. Do you want me to save this SHA number? Blah, blah, blah. You're like, yes, let's just do it. Give it a fingerprint. Cool. Now it's going to add that to an actual file that is stored locally on your machine. It's called known hosts. So it's going to save this. I think it's going to save this SHA onto that known host. So, or it creates a different one. But anyways, it's basically like a password or a key or authentication token. So anyway, so now you're here. It's going to say root at Batocera.local's password. What is the password? Well, the password is Linux. So, and you're not going to be able to see it, so you're going to type it in. So it's LINUX. Hit return. And then you should see bum, ba-da-bum, Batocera, ready to retro. Okay, so we're in. So we've got some cool ASCII right here. Look at this ASCII art. This rules. Anyways, okay, so now we're inside of the root directory of your Batocera system. So inside of here, we are going to run that CRT script. And you're like, what is that CRT script? Well, it's right here. So I'm going to leave a link here as well. So this is the Batocera-CRT-Script GitHub repository. Here's the front page of it. We'll go over that first. So, you know, this is where all the source code is. It's going to run that script. I think, well, actually, you're going to hit a server, and I think on their server it's going to run more code. But there's some code in here that's gonna run. So anyway, so yeah, so there's the installation instructions here, right at the very, very, very top. You know, it's not hard to miss. You'd be surprised. I look in their Discord channel and so many people ask how to do it, and I'm like, dude, read the docs, man. So anyways, here's the installation instructions. All you got to do is just click on that, and that's going to take you to here, and we're going to go through that in a sec. Other call out is they've got their Discord channel here. So if you want to join their Discord channel for any questions, just please make sure and read the documentation, read the wiki page first. If you find a use case that doesn't exist in any of the docs, then go in there and ask. But a lot of the times, you know, you're going to keep getting referenced back to this thing. So just do some research and read first. A lot of shout outs here. We got Ryan. He's in the channel. He's in the Discord channel. He's going to help out a lot. Jay Frocos, I guess. But yeah, he's in there a lot as well too, or they are in there a lot as well. Calamity. I mean, heavy hitters here. We got Groovy Maimed. We got Groovy Arcade. You know, we got a lot of heavy hitters in here that contribute. And again, I haven't mentioned this, but they keep this up to date. So every time there's a new version of Batocera, they're always trying to keep it up to date to have it working with the latest and greatest. So again, we're on Batocera 40, but yeah, so you know, this is how they make it work with every version. So there are maintainers and there are people they're constantly working on this all the time. So as you can see, last week there was an update on the README. So it's legit, it's good. So anyway, so let's go back to the installation instructions here. And as you can see, there's a call out right here, boom, version 40. Awesome. So basically it's just saying, hey, run this command inside of your terminal and we should start running. Also another call out is if you're using a R9 3380 model, an AMD card, you're gonna have to do this additionally as well too. So it's only with that card, I'm not sure why, but basically you run the script and then you have to like go into this directory again, and then there's a script inside of there, and then you're gonna run that script as well one more time. So just a call out right there. So I think I copied this already. Let me copy this. I'm gonna go back to our terminal here. I'm gonna paste that. Look at that, I'm already running and gunning, dude. So let's see here. Okay, it's doing something. There we go. So now we're in. So the very first thing here, let me talk about this. So restore files is what this does is if you are already in CRT mode, you could actually go back to the HDMI digital version of Batocera, which is what we are currently in right now. So, you know, again, if you want to go back to just a normal non-CRT television or monitor, then you use this and then you know, it will go back to the normal version. We don't want to do that. We want to run this script. So let's hit return here. And then there's a big shout out for Sergi from Groovy Arcade, RIP, give him a moment of silence. Like, a lot of great work, lot of great contributions. So even GunCon, RetroArch, I mean, yeah. So rest in peace. Now we're gonna hit return again. And then here we go. So now we've got a bunch of stuff. So I'm just gonna go through this really quick. You could always just pause the video, or when you're doing the script, you could read through this, but we're gonna go through this real quick because we're on a time restraint. But here's that call out right there, AMD R7 350X, R9 280X, some Intel, OptiPlex, blah, blah. It's like saying like all this stuff here. So cool. Let's press enter to start. So I know that my HDMI is going to be this one. And I know that the AMD card that R7 350X is an AMD card. So we need to make sure that we are loading this one. So it's gonna ask you, make your graphic card choice. Let's do number 1. So I'm gonna press 1. Okay, it's the AMD. Yep, it's ready. Ready for 15K. All right, so then the next thing it's gonna ask you is where is it located? Like on the actual card, what do you want the signal to be outputted onto? So I mentioned that before, when we want it out of the DVI-I, we don't want to do DisplayPort. We don't need a dongle. Let's do out of DVI-I, and that's the only choice here. So let's do number 2 here, and that's coming out of the AMD card. So now we have this here. So it's going to ask you what type of monitor you have. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different choices here. And then it also gives you kind of like these different settings as far as like 480, 600p, 768, like this kind of stuff. Look at, you got a Wells Gardner, you got a K7000 in here, boom, you got a Ouya, yo, that Ouya. I have in the new Astro City in MS929. So what this is gonna do is this is gonna kind of like set up all the geometry and stuff already. It's got presets in it so that it sets the resolution and all of that stuff already set for you. If you don't have anything in here, your best bet is to either use Arcade 15. If you got a tri-sync monitor, you could do 15, 25, 31, so that kind of stuff. So I think maybe regular TV, you use Arcade 15 as well too, or generic 15. But just keep in mind that there is going to be a setting later on that you could set the geometry, and then it will create a file for you and then save those presets. So these are all just presets already. So again, I'm going to use the MS929. So let's do 28 here. Okay, and then now I'm going to set the monitor type. So I'm going to go 640 at 480 at 60 frames, so 60 hertz. So let's do that real quick here. And then we're going to do 2. And then your choice is this, press enter. Yep, we good. Okay, now this is just asking, hey, do we have a Tate or vertical monitor, or do we have a Yoko landscape view, just normal? We got Yoko on mine, so I'm just gonna do none. I don't need to flip the monitor. And then this is also gonna ask you if you wanna do this also for the EmulationStation UI as well too. So I don't know why you would do one or the other, but yeah, so I guess we're gonna do both the same. So I can't even think of a scenario where you would have your games flipped, but then you want the UI to be another direction. But let me know in the comments if you know that use case. But anyways, okay, we're going normal here. Number 1, cool. We're just verifying, we're good. All right, so this is all advanced stuff. We're not even gonna go into this at all. We're just gonna go no. But if you wanna do some research about how all this stuff works, read the docs again. But we're just gonna go everything just kind of as default values here. So fast polling, same thing. Let's just keep as default number 2. And then here's where I mentioned earlier about the jammASD having a key mapping profile. So it already registered and recognized the jammASD interface. So let's use our arcade encoder here and do number 1 for your jammASD. So we're gonna press enter here. And then this is for GunCon calibration. Since we have AMD, I'm just going to do no here. But yeah, this makes it so that, I mean, here's the other cool thing is you're able to run a GunCon. You could do light gun games on your CRT cabinet. So this is going to make it so that you have the right screen size, and then I think also just kind of like the how fast the screen blinks in order for the gun to register it. So how many frames per second. So anyways, we're going to do no here. And then after that, it's going to say press enter to finish. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here because I need to show you all something before we do anything. What we're gonna do is we are going to unplug the HDMI. You out. You're gone. Don't do that. Like, get the HDMI out of there. Like, don't even have anything else plugged in other than your DVI out. There may be a chance that it will load and then it will say, oh, there's something plugged in HDMI. I'm gonna still use that instead. We don't want that. We just want this. So we're taking out one thing, one risk here. So let's get rid of that. And then after that, let's turn this off here, because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do this. And now we're gonna go into my capture card, which is actually showing, it's actually showing this, the HDMI version of it, but this is gonna be the analog version. So I could see it's already at 48 kilohertz on this side, and that is not good. So that is not, I have this splitter, the VGA splitter, remember? So we have the VGA splitter. So this is actually coming out of the DVI right now, but it's not the correct frequency. You need 15 kilohertz. But right now I'm at 48, so you don't want that at all. So we're gonna go back to Mac OS screen. Okay, so we're going back to here. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to type in reboot, okay? And then you're gonna hit enter. So what that's gonna do is that is literally going to restart your machine. And it's gonna restart the machine, and it's gonna have all those settings that got downloaded. So when you ran that script, it put a bunch of different config files into your directory, into your Batocera file system. And then what it's gonna do is now it's gonna reboot, and it's gonna read those files, and it's gonna say, oh, cool, now I need to use this DVI out. I need to send out a 15 kilohertz signal. And then after that, I'm good to go. So let's give this a sec here. I could already see it's 15K coming through the OSSC right now. So that's a really, really good sign. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Let's just turn this on. Let's literally just turn on the arcade cabinet. See how this goes. So it's loading. And again, it's kind of like resetting itself. So give it a sec. Dude, look at that. Oh man, it's up, it's up. All right, let me see if the screen's laggy. No, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty on it. We'll see once I move around with the keyboard. But so yeah, you're gonna see that video at first, and then here we go, Batocera collection, dude. Oh yeah, there's a little lag. Okay, hold on. Let me update this a little bit here. So actually, you know what? We don't even need this. Let's get out of here. We're going to here, dude. Dude, I've been waiting to show this part. Yeah, so cool. So now we're in. Here's my end all be all screen now. So yeah, so now we've got this running on a CRT, dude. Look at this. The cabinet's got it. It looks so beautiful. Oh man. All right, so dude, I'm so stoked right now. So the next thing that we're gonna do is, now that we're in here, I think we're gonna get Steam installed. We also need to, there's one little caveat about the jammASD with the controls, and it's exiting Steam games. So I'm gonna show you a little setting that you could set as well too. And then after that, yeah, so stay tuned for that. All right, so before we dive into Steam, first thing we need to do is let's check to see if your volume is working on your jammASD. So turn up the knob on that. I already did that with mine. I turned it down so that I could speak. And then also let's go through just how the controls work as well too before we start diving into Steam. So let me switch this actually to this mode back to here so that you could see. So yeah, so we got first player working here. We've got second player working here as well, just right out of the gate. And then let's talk about some of the buttons that we were doing with the keyboard. So if you hit the one player start button, that should take you to the menu. And then on your controller, or on your buttons here, let's start from the top left and then go like, top left is gonna be 1, 2, 3, and then the bottom left is gonna be 4, 5, 6. So you're gonna hit button number 5 to go back. And then, so that's gonna be your escape button basically. So same thing, you know how we were doing that before. And then button number 4 is gonna be your X button, or your enter basically. So same thing. So we can move around, go into an emulator. If we need to go back, hit button number 5. So 4 again, button 5. Menu is first player. If we need to get out of there, hit button 5 again. And if you look at the very bottom of the screen, actually, I'll show you this real quick, and maybe this could be another reference as well too. So if you see that search one right there, so where that circle is, that's button number 1. And then to the top of that is button number 2. And then to the bottom of, the very, very bottom of the diamond is gonna be button number 4. And then to the right of that is button number 5. So it's kind of like a PlayStation or a Nintendo controller as well too. So it's going to be that same kind of like diamond, and then the next 2 is going to be your left, right, or your triggers. So, and I think it's usually the top one is the left, and then the bottom one is right. So just to give that as a reference, hopefully that makes a little bit more sense here. So we're back to here again. And let's see here. So if we go into the menu here, oh, actually, I want to show you first off, we have a new thing that just got. So this came from the CRT script. So that it unlocked this new menus option here. So this is where I was telling you if you were picking your monitor profile from that script where I picked the MS929. If you did like Arcade 15 or any other setting. If something looks off and the geometry looks off here, you're gonna go into here and do your settings inside of here. So if we go to here, we could set the mode, and then we could also set what that geometry is. So you could adjust things and move the square to the left, to the right, shrink it a little bit, like that kind of stuff. And then also this one, this ES centering and scaling tool is for the EmulationStation UI as well. So that's, if this looks a little wonky or looks a little weird, you could set that. And again, all of this is going to be inside of the documentation on that GitHub to kind of fully understand how this all works. And then you could also do gun-to-con 2 calibration in here as well too. So it will like put a couple targets, and then you aim your gun and shoot them, and then that's how you'll calibrate your gun. So, and then this last one, this overlays for portable systems. Honestly, I don't recommend using this at all, because you're basically baking a bezel into your CRT. So it basically puts like a bezel around the game. So like you're playing like Game Boy or like Game Gear or something like that, it will make like a bezel around it to fit the smaller screen. I would leave that out just because it is, you're literally baking that into your CRT, and that's probably not good. So that's it. I think there's nothing else in here. I'm not going to go into this because my screen looks perfect, because I picked that MS929 and it totally looks great on my cabinet. So so yeah, I think we might be ready to go into Steam with all that said. So I'm going to plug in direct. I do have an Ethernet cable, so I'm going to plug in direct here so that I can download some Steam games real quick. And then, yeah, so I think first thing I'm gonna do is I just kind of want to show you the documentation here for Steam. So if you go to, I'm gonna leave this link as well. So we've got this Batocera System Steam location here, this page. It's got a bunch of stuff in here. It's got a lot of legacy stuff from trying to get Steam to work from the past. But there's a couple things that we're gonna go through in here that we're gonna go one by one on the fly. But there's a video right here to show you how to install it using Flatpak, and I'll show you how to do that. And it also says it on Batocera 40, and there's also a video included with that as well too, to make it really, really simple. But once we do get it downloaded and we do get it working, there's a setting that we need to do, and we need to set that is going to be inside of, let me see if it's in here. I don't know if there's a picture of it, but there's something that we need to set so that we can enable not just Steam titles. So if we want to download like a Windows game through Steam, we want to be able to set that as well. So there's something in here that we have to set. So I'll show you how to do that as well too. So yeah, so with that said, let's go back to here. I'm going to go back to this, and then I'm going to start working just from here. But you're going to have your keyboard and mouse still hooked up to your PC, and you can do everything through your CRT cabinet. So, but I'm going to do everything here just because I have the screen share and I've just got everything sitting here. So, yeah, so let me turn this off and let's go to the main screen here. So first thing we need to do is we need to open up, we need to get Steam downloaded or through Flatpak. So, and Flatpak is an application that is inside of Batocera. It's not here. You're going to have to go into the file manager. So again, what we're going to do is going to press F1. And then we're going to go to Applications, and then we're going to open up Flatpak Config. So double click this. Also, if this like looks too big for you, you could also minimize things and make them a little bit, zoom them out a little bit more. If you want to zoom in, view will help out. Like if you have ROMs here and you want to like make a list, you can make it like look like a list instead. You could sort the files, do all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm going to keep it just like this for this video. So we're going to go and double click on Flatpak Config. And see, this is where the mouse comes in. So this is why we have a mouse right now, is so that we could do all this stuff. So let's just hit OK here, whatever. It's not doing anything. It's not going to download anything. It's just giving us saying that something is available. So while this is looking for suggestions, it may take a sec. We're hitting some sort of server, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it is a server because we're going to have to download certain things here. So I do see Steam. It's right here. If you don't see it, I'm just going to do this. So just go into the filter section and filter for Steam. So, and then cool, it's going to be the top list right here. As you can see, there's usually a thing that says install on the side. The screen is a little too small. So this is where it gets a little cumbersome when you're trying to like do things when you're scrunched up to 640 by 480. So anyways, they made it so that if you click on it, it should move over. So it automatically moves over now. So I don't have to like scroll over or anything like that. So now I could just hit install here. And then we want, let's install it on my device. And then if you want to see the progress, just go to show details. And then I will let this run. We'll see how this goes. All right, looks like the installation is complete. Boom, right there. So we're good to go. So let's close out of this. Okay. And then let's close this window. So now we're going to go back to the EmulationStation menu, UI. And so the first thing that we're going to do here is, and this is what you do whenever you download ROMs and like that kind of stuff too. So you're not going to see Steam in here because we need to update this, like the game list. So basically we just need to update and just make sure that we have everything up to date as far as like things that we've downloaded and that kind of stuff. So to do that, we go into the menu. So you're going to hit one player start again. And then after that, you're going to go into game settings. You're going to hit button number 4. And then you're going to hit button 4 again on update game list. And then you're going to hit button number 4 one more time. And you're going to say, yes, update my game list. Now it's going to take you back to the front end UI. And you're going to see, if you scroll, boom, there is Steam right there. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're not going to go into Steam yet. I'm going to save you a little hassle that happens when you're running Steam. So I've been running into an issue with the jammASD. So Batocera has a thing where that you could do a hotkey and then hit do a button config that you can exit games. And for some strange reason, with the jammASD, it's supposed to be the coin mech and then holding down first player start button is to exit games, which also is kind of a little bit cumbersome when you're playing arcade games with 2 players. Imagine you're playing like an arcade game and you have to put a coin in and someone's like holding down a button. The coin button is usually like your hotkey, and sometimes you'll like exit a game and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna just do we're gonna go into a setting basically in Steam or in Batocera, and we're gonna change a file real quick just to make it so that if I want to exit a game, then all I have to do is just hit the coin mech and that's it. And I don't have to do a button config. I don't have to do two different things at the exact same time. Also, the other thing too is there's a little glitch right now with exiting games with Steam, just in general in Batocera. Sometimes you get stuck. So like you'll try to exit the game and then all of a sudden the UI is just completely stuck. This is a way to make it easier for you to be able to just reset Batocera in general. So that said, we're gonna go back to the main menu. So we're gonna hit escape. Okay, we're there. Bang, cool. And then we're gonna go to F1 again. So hit F1, we're gonna go into this menu. And then what we're gonna do is we're deep diving here. So we need to go back to the parent folder of this. So we're gonna go into Go. We are going to go to parent folder. We are going to go to user, USR. We are going to go to share. Then you're going to look for EV map Y, so EV mappy, go into here, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna look for steam.keys. So it should be right over here. Now, just double click on it, and then we could actually update this file here. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start from this line right here, all the way at the very edge. We're gonna do this. We are going to copy this right here, and then you're gonna hit Control-C. I don't know what it is on a PC keyboard. Maybe it's still Control, but anyways. So we're gonna add a comma here. We're gonna hit Return so that the cursor is right there, and then we are going to paste. So Control-V, okay? Comma again, Enter, Control-V. Comma one more time, Enter, Control-V. And do not put a comma at the end here. It will break, okay? The next thing that you're gonna do is you are going to change this. I guess we should have did this backwards, but whatever. So we're gonna change this to Select. We're gonna tell it to do Select. Then we are going to say this is Action Player 2, and then Select. Okay, and then we're gonna do Action Player 3. We're gonna change this to Select, and then Action Player 4, Select. So the issue that I've been running into is sometimes jammASD isn't known as Player 1. So what I'm doing is I'm just making it so that whenever we start the system, whatever jammASD decides it wants to be, either 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're always going to have this key config, which is what this is going to do is it's going to tell when I run the select button, when I hit that select button in Steam, it is going to, this is the code to exit the emulator in general. So this is how you exit an emulator, just straight up, like you're force exiting. So anyways, so let's make sure we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, everything says select. Okay, everything's all the exact same. So now we are going to save, okay? We are going to quit, and then we're gonna go into applications, okay? So there's something that I need to tell you that maybe this doesn't happen with this file, but it's a habit that I have that I do every single time I ever do a config. Sometimes configs will not save after you reboot. So there's some files that will always like go back to a default value. So what I usually do is I always go into Xterm, and what I'll do is I'll put in this command here. What this does is it tells it, hey, override this setting so that when I reboot, don't ever go back to, I'm gonna save this exact setting. So how to do that is you type in Batocera and then save and then dash and then overlay. Okay, so Batocera-save-overlay is going to do this for you. So yeah, so as you can see, like, cool, it updated this, blah, blah, blah. So now we can go and do exit. Okay, so type in exit here just to leave the terminal. So yeah, so this is the Batocera terminal. So you could have ran that CRT script in here as well too. So, but we did it externally just to show you how you could SSH into your machine. So we're gonna do exit here. Cool, so now we're back to here. And now we could go to File, Close Window. Cool. So now Steam is bulletproof, right? So now I don't have to worry, like, if we didn't do this first and we tried to exit Steam, something would have crashed. You would have had to restart the PC. It's a pain in the ass. So let's just deal with that first. Okay, so now we're in Steam. So let's press Enter here. And then let's press, first player, start. And then let's press, button 4. And then press button 4 one more time here. So we're gonna press button 4 here, and then we're gonna go into Steam. So the next thing is I'm going to, it's gonna load. Just let it download. It's gonna do some settings here. Here we go. Dude, look at that. Big picture mode. We're in big picture mode. Okay, wait, hold on. So yeah, pick your language. I'm gonna pick English here. I am in Central Eastern time, so pick your time zone. Wait, not Central Eastern. I'm in Eastern time. Where is that? Eastern Standard Time. Oh my gosh, dude. I've lived in different states in this country, so Eastern Standard Time. Here we go. Bam. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna sign in. All right, we're logging in. It's happening. Got my creds in. Dude, we're in big picture mode. Check it out. Okay, so press any button and tap the screen to continue. Can I just do that from the controller? Let me check this real quick here. I could just use I'm just literally just using the buttons on here right now. Cool. And then look, your joystick's it's already working in Steam. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, so one of the first things that we need to do in here though, is we need to make it so that we're enabling Windows titles as well, so that we could download those, not just Steam. So I think if you hit button number 5, cool, hit button 5, and it's going to take you to this. Go to settings here, okay, and then we're going to scroll all the way down to compatibility here. We're going to toggle this on. We're going to restart now. So we just restart this, and it's going to restart Steam again. So let's just give this a sec. Yeah, I love it. We're in. Look at that. So now the game selection is a little different now, because now I have like all these different types of titles in here. So I'm gonna download this game first. This is a great game, by the way, if you haven't played it yet. It just came out like 2 weeks ago. I'm like love this game. So anyways, so let's install this. And there's a reason why I'm gonna install this game, because I want to show you how to change resolutions on games to make it fit your screen as well too. So just to let you know, you are not going to be playing games directly here in Steam. So we are only in this UI just to download games. We're going to install them, and then after that, we're gonna open them up from EmulationStation instead. And the reason why you do that is because you have more power to be able to change the resolutions of those games on a per game basis, rather than changing the resolution of Steam and then going into Steam and then playing the game, and then you find out another game's in a different resolution. So then you got to exit out of Steam, change the resolution, go back in. This makes it way more simpler. So, yeah, so this is downloaded. Cool. Download complete already. Awesome. So let's exit out of here. So let's press button 5. Let's press button 5 one more time. And then let's go down to power. And then let's go to exit Steam. And then confirm. So exiting Steam from here doesn't give you issues. It's when you exit a game, even when you're playing a game inside of Steam, I think you run into issues. So when you're exiting a game from EmulationStation is where the glitch happens. And actually, I'm going to open up my coin mech, because we are going to run into that. Oh, and by the way, so Steam takes a little bit to exit. So just don't be worried if you see a black screen for a little bit. That's what it does. Okay, so we're here. So we don't have the game yet in here. So what we're gonna do is that same thing. We're gonna update that game list. So we're gonna hit player 1. We're gonna go to game settings. We're gonna hit button 4. We're gonna hit button 4 again. Update game list. Really? Yep. Let's do it. Yes. Cool. Now we got Crystal Breaker. Look at that. So Crystal Breaker's in here in this list here. So now what we're gonna do is, let me just show you an example of what happens when you don't change the resolution. So right now we're set at 640 at 480 right now. This game is actually set at a different resolution. It's gonna look great, but you're gonna see that there's a box on the top and on the bottom. Cloud out of date. Oh yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Oh, maybe you do need a mouse for this part though. So maybe some games you do need a mouse at first, but once you open it once with the mouse, you should be good. Also, I'll maybe make a video on the keyboard that I actually use for my cabinets. I have a little mini Bluetooth keyboard that's wireless. It's really small. It's really easy and compact. So that way I do have like a keyboard and mouse just in case. Okay, so as you can see, the top and bottom are squished on the cabinet. So let me show you a picture of the actual room real quick here. So if you look at the cabinet, like there's a bar right here, and then there's a bar right here. So this is actually the correct resolution that it should be. But if you want it, you could still play it like this. But if you want to stretch it, I'll show you how to stretch it as well too. So go back to here, And then let me show you the trick that we just did. So remember how we changed that file? So I'm gonna hit the coin button, okay? I'm gonna kill this emulator right now. So I'm gonna hit the coin button, and it takes about a good 30 seconds before the emulator will exit, but it will happen. So let's give it a sec. I mean, look how beautiful this looks. I'm like so excited about being able to play this on my arcade cabinet. This is so cool. So yeah, so if everything works out correct, we should be able to exit. There we go. So we just exited. So now it's gonna go back to EmulationStation. Now, if we didn't do this and we tried to exit the game from the exit menu from the game, we would have been stuck, and we would have had to reset the PC. So anyways, okay. So I think I showed you this earlier, but going into advanced mode per game, so per setting. So what you do is instead of pushing button 4 or enter to go into a game, you're on the game right here in this menu. So, okay, we go to Steam, we go to the game, and all you have to do is hold down the button number 4. So hold down enter. So hold it down. And now we could go into these settings here. And this is where you could actually add, change the metadata if you want the text to look different, if you want to add photos, video, look for them inside of a folder, like that kind of stuff. So you could scrape actually for, if you don't have images or videos for your game, you could actually scrape for them if you're hooked up to the internet. So anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to advanced video or advanced game options. We're gonna go to video mode. We're gonna click here. And it's set on auto, which is, I think it's already at 640 at 480p. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll all the way down, and I think I found the sweet spot. So the sweet spot for this one is going to be 854 by 480. And a lot of these games that have those bars, that's gonna be the sweet spot right here, 854 at 480. Other than that, you could do 640, 480, which I think is already auto. And then, you know, if you need to make it bigger, you know, you could choose those as well too. So, so here we go. So let's choose 854, 480. So we hit button number 4. Cool. So there's our video mode. And now we could hit the button number 5 to go back. And then let's go back into the game now. And then you'll see that this will actually stretch it. The other thing I want to make a call out for is sometimes you'll download games and they won't be in full screen mode and they'll be in windowed mode. Those are kind of sometimes a little bit of a pain in the ass to try to figure out. But as long as you're able to get into the menu and then change it into full screen mode, then you should be good to go. So just keep that in mind. Some games will be in, you're like, why does this look so weird? It could be in windowed mode. So make it so it's in full screen, and then you'll have it in full screen. And then after that, you'll be able to play. But look, yeah, we're good. So we're in big, look at that screen, dude. Look at that screen. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful it even looks on the capture card too. I mean, it looks, the gameplay looks good. The UI is a little glitchy, but you know, we're not looking at the UI here. We're looking at some pixelated goodness, some richness right here. So yeah, so we got this game running. I think that's about it, really. As far as getting this set up, I mean, we got Steam set up right now. The other thing, actually, there's one more thing that I want to recommend here. So let me hit the escape button real quick here. Let's crap out of this game. Let's get out. So let me give this a sec. So the UI that we're using right now is the UI that comes the EmulationStation UI is the one that comes default with Batocera. It's a little big, it's a little clunky, it's a little hard to navigate. So once this is done, okay, cool. We're just going back real quick here. I'm going to show you one that I highly recommend, and I've already downloaded it because it takes a little bit. So if I go back to, if you go to updates and downloads, you can go into here and then download different themes. So that's what I'm trying to say is like the theme is like it's a little clunky. So we're going to go back here and we're going to go to, once you download the theme that you want, and this is the one that I recommend, I'll show you. So if you go to user interface settings and go to theme set, this one is the one that I highly recommend you download. And I'll show you what that looks like. So if I change this to this and I go to the back button, or I can hit back button or just go to back. Here we go. Cool. Now I just changed the theme. So it's a little bit, it looks a little bit better. It's like more of a kind of like a hyperspin look. If we go escape and go back, now we can see our systems in here. It's got like a cool UI like this. I like this a little bit better. You could actually see, even when we go in that CRT mode, okay, so we go to that CRT again, we'll go into there. Like now you can see like the different, it's a little bit easier to read. It's a little bit easier to kind of go through, navigate. And the really cool thing about this is now I could switch in between emulators going left and right. So if I go left, now I could go to PC Engine, you go to Nintendo, that kind of stuff. So I recommend this one. There's a ton of different themes, but this is the one that works for me the best on a CRT cabinet. So that said, I think, man, I'm stoked. So hopefully this was very informative for you. Dude, like literally leave me comments, ask me any questions. The Discord channel is up. There's a lot of help in there as well too. Find me on Instagram. I'll leave the links to that in my description. I'm on Discord as well. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna end. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this whole video with some gameplay of different games that I have running on this OptiPlex, just to show what I could actually do on this thing. So stay tuned. And thank you. Thank you.